Alright, so today guys we're going to be rebuilding some 2021 Polaris Walker Evans Assault A50 shocks. They just have some bad seals. I got everything here to do it. I'm just going to kind of show you how to do them. It's not a real tutorial. If you want that, I can make those kind of videos, but there's tons of them on YouTube. I just was going to kind of go through and show what I do to these kind of shocks. They're pretty simple to rebuild. You really don't need that many tools. As you can see, when I go through, I'll show you what I have and how to do them. So let's get started. First is going to be to get the nitrogen out of these. You got to use a 3/32 Allen wrench. I have these little cool T-handle things that the tip break off of that are Klein tools that are absolute kind of good and kind of fucking junk. My favorite kind of tool. I always kind of throw stuff in my little thing here for screws in my little bin so I don't lose stuff. Next, you just got to get one of these needles. Something you'll notice when you buy these from suppliers like shock places is that they want to charge like $4 or $5 for each of these things. You can just buy hypodermic disposable needles, like hundreds of them, for, you know, a couple of bucks. This size of them is, what size are these? 22 gauge disposable neck lure lock needles. I think I paid like $8 for these. And I've had these for years. They last a while until they break, because you mess them up trying to go through some of these rubber pellet style ones. Sometimes they kind of get screwed up. Oh, I guess I probably need to take the spring off of this. This is another cool thing I have that I've had for a while. This Jack Tech spring compressor, totally worth the money. One of the best things I ever bought. Them little Mickey Mouse ass spring compressors you can buy from AutoZone or like Amazon are scary, and all they do is end up breaking. They work on anything. 3-inch triple bypass, car struts, even small snowmobile stuff like this. What's going on with these? What the heck? This thing's like, I gotta give it the little tappy tappy. Best thing to do with this is just grab a socket that fits over this and just tap it down. But this is a cool thing with these Walker Evans shocks that seems to happen all the time, is that the nitrogen gets into the reservoir and then it's really hard to get these off. But if you just get your, what size is this? I think they're 1/8. Then you just open, you can go through this. Nope, that's not the right size. Maybe they are 3/32. I'm wrong. What the hell size is this? Oh no, that's the Schrader valve style. So this is kind of a fun thing you sometimes have to do, which is basically just take a 1-inch wrench and open them to let the nitrogen out, which usually makes a huge mess. So you just kind of got to crack them open a little bit. And like so, as you can hear, it's coming out. Sorry, there's music going on. Just gotta make sure you go slow. Well, oil in these don't look too bad. There we go. There we go. The best thing about Walker Evans, the nitrogen in the bodies. They definitely need to be serviced every 2 years at a max. The way I pull these out is just nail those pliers. This is a Shock Surplus IFP tool that's pretty good. It pretty much works on, not Shock Surplus, shockseals.com. It works really good because it does King and Fox and Walker Evans. And I think Sway Away too. But it's got all the cool things on it. So you can use it pretty much universally with everything. I think they're pretty cheap. They're only like 50 bucks. Compared to like some of the other companies that sell something like that, they want like 80 bucks for them. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And then this is a cool trick I do when I clean them is I just take a little small tie strap and I just push the whole valving stack from the washer to the nut, slide it through a little bit and just throw it in your bin. That's the easiest way to clean them, and then you know what way they go. What a mess. You gotta be careful you don't dig into the groove. That's why on some stuff I'll use the metal one, and then on others I'll use these plastic picks. Some of these urethane seals are kind of hard to get out. And I messed up the tip on that. It looks like somebody already gouged the fuck out of these before once. That's not good. That was one of the front shocks. Let me grab another one. The same thing with these. I like doing pairs of them together. At least, you know, if you take them all apart, they all come back together the same way, which is nice. So I'll do like 2 fronts and then do 2 rears, because you can kind of tell what goes with what, because one has a way longer shaft than the other. Oh, this one's not wanting to go. Make sure you always have these as soft as they'll go. The compression adjusters. Shit, slipped. Everything's covered in oil. Oh, one of these has already been rebuilt with the newer style seals. Man, these Harbor Freight gloves are absolute junk. I hate these. The ones on Amazon are so much better. These are like their second most heavy-duty ones. And I thought that they'd be enough. And all they do is they're so thin and they're so expensive compared to stuff on Amazon. I just use a bucket to dump stuff into it. There's people that use like transmission tables and stuff. They're just so expensive to try to find. Unless you can find a used one somewhere. People still want $1,000 for them or more. Way too much. Those shafts stuck. See if I can get this one to come loose. There we go. Sometimes the shaft will want to spin on you inside the eyelet, but you just clamp down on it with your soft jaws or a shaft clamp. Do not try to clamp on a chrome shaft with your steel vice jaws. You'll mess it up so bad. It'll be absolutely crazy. Somebody did do these before. I wonder who did them. They all have so scratched up. That's something you'll see. People use picks and they dig into them and they gouge the, I don't know if you can see this or not, but gouge the shit out of the sealing surface. They'll seal fine for a while, but then they start getting all messed up and they'll leak if you get them too bad. Then off to the parts washer. Now this parts washer is just full of diesel. Usually I use kerosene, but I wasn't able to get any this last time I went to the local supply place, which is the B&B by my house. They didn't have what I needed somehow, which it works. Don't use gas. Brake clean isn't good to use either because it just messes up all the other seals inside of them. And then this is a little trick when you don't drop it in the water. Get one of these hole brushes and then you can just use it inside the grooves on these when they get really dirty shocks that are super nasty to be able to clean the O-ring grooves out. That's pretty much the best way to do that, I've found. Sometimes you gotta use like a little pick to be able to get in there to do it. These ones aren't super sludgy, realistically. See them way worse all the time. And then with these, you just want to make sure you go through and make sure that none of these shims are broke or have a bunch of goop on them. So that's what's cool about using the zip tie. You can go through each one and check it and not worry about having them get out of order. Sometimes you'll see them crack, but it's not very common. I get all my seals from High Gear pretty much as of nowadays, so they have really good seals at good prices. And what the cool thing is all their seals that they have, they just do it by size, by shaft size, and it covers basically every different type of that shock, so you don't have to worry about it. So like on these, they're all the 5/8, and then the one rear's the 1/2 inch. I like to do the seal heads first, and the thing you're going to want to get is a little thing of oil to dip the seals in so that they go in there easier. And you just got to get your U-cup, your O-ring, and then your wiper seal. I always keep all my old seals on shocks I really don't know. I just throw them on the side so I can go through the new seal and make sure that I have the old seal. And sometimes when you're buying them from places, they'll send you the wrong stuff. So it's always a good thing to check in the bag too if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Just kind of push them in with your finger. Pretty easy to do. And their oil's your friend. And so is the diesel. It helps lubricate it a little bit. These ones, sometimes you gotta grab like a little screwdriver or something to nudge it into the groove. Where are you going in there? Just like that. And I'll just grab the end of this, push it in like so. Same thing on this one. Pretty simple to do. This isn't rocket science, guys. Just gotta have some basic tools. Make sure you get them in, because sometimes they'll like, part of the lip will be in the wrong spot and they'll not want to go in there. Or be over the edge. And then the thing you need with these is a seal bullet. Kinda. It helps a lot. You don't technically need it. You can kind of roll them over, but it's definitely not my preferred way to do them. There's a bunch of different companies that make them. I have the High Gear ones. They're made of steel. A lot of the other ones are aluminum. You can get them from places like Schmitty's Racing, or High Gear has a lot of snow ones. And then you just kind of push it over like so. Then you don't have to worry about your seal head ripping the U-cup seal, which is the middle one, or the wiper. Then you just take your little flat screwdriver, take it through the nut, push it through all the valving stack, cut the zip tie, throw that to the side, and just take it down your little needle, or your bleed port I mean. You just kind of run it through there. And then boom. And then these you just kind of pretty much, you know, tighten them down snug. I don't put red Loctite on nothing. I never have. I know a couple other people that don't do it either. You can if you want to. It's probably a good idea, but they really shouldn't be coming loose if they're torqued correctly to begin with. Did they give us the new? Oh, they did. I'm so used to them not giving us those seals. Like a lot of other places. These little seals. This is something I forgot to pull off. But usually they don't get too dirty. A lot of seal kits, when you buy them for like a lot of the Arctic Cat shocks, will not come with those. So you gotta make sure you reuse them. Which you can just pull them off and clean them if they're really dirty. But usually they're not. You just leave them on there. Just kind of roll them on with your finger. And then for these all take the same seal, which are these bigger ones. Same thing, you just roll them over. Super easy. Then you got to get your oil, which for the Walker Evans, I like to use 5-weight. I have a little chart I gotta look at to make sure. This is something I like doing now, is pushing your floating piston in first and filling them from the other side so you don't make a huge mess. But you can really only do it on these Walker Evans ones because they have so much bleed through the bridge. So once this starts flowing through, there we go. Then you just take your piston bleed screw, tighten her down for now, and push it all the way down. You'll see all this air come out of it, and you'll really want to do this a couple of times. Cycle it up a couple times and push it up. It'll get a lot of air in this valving bridge. Just make sure you don't pull super hard on these, because if you make a bunch of vacuum on this side, it'll make cavitation and there'll be way more bubbles than there actually would be, because you're pulling the air out of the oil. Oh. And then for these, when I'm bleeding the piston, screw your compression in all the way so that you can move this without this piston moving a ton. And something you're going to want to do is take a dead blower, rubber mallet or something, and hit this a couple times. That'll help get air out from the back side of this piston. When it's going, they'll get trapped from these holes on the back side of these, and you'll get a lot of air left in there. So Just something to be aware of. Then loosen it all the way, your compression. And something to do about these is you gotta pull this piston up some. Oh. I'll pull them about a third of the way up, and then I will get this as high as I can above the bleed port, and then I will tighten this down. And the reason I do this is so that I can push the piston back down some, and I'm not hydrolocking. So tighten this up. Pull this the rest of the way up. Make sure this is down all the way. Loosen this all the way off again. And then set your IFP height, which I do it with a little needle nose pliers because it's easier because I can see it, and then I just move it up probably quarter to a third of an inch, and then you can put your screw back in there. You just don't want to make sure that it's too high to where it would hydrolock, and you don't want it to be so low that it will be slapping the top of the reservoir body. The more nitrogen you have in these, the better. But you want to make sure that when you're doing them, that you're setting them at the same depth so that there's not a difference in nitrogen pressure when the shock is moving up and down, because it will make it ride weird. Then you just put your little top in here. Put your circlip in. These are the Harbor Freight Icon circlip tools. They're actually snap ring tools, I guess, technically. They work great. They're so nice compared to like Snap-on or any of them things. For these, I set these to 250 PSI. This is just a regular needle setup. Oh, what the hell? Then boom, one side's done, or one shock, I mean. Then you just put your cap screw back over it and set it off to the side until it's time to clean them. And on to the next one. Make sure it's open all the way. Put your IFP in, push it in some. Fill your shock up with oil. I filled this one up too much. Then make sure you let it bubble up for a minute so that you're not bubbling way too much and sucking bubbles back in. Tighten it in all the way on your compression adjuster. And then start working on your piston. Make sure you cover this so it doesn't make a huge mess. Spray oil all over everything and everybody. Let it set for a second. Hit it with a little tappy to try to break some of the bubbles free. Loosen her up so you can pull your piston up some. And same thing with this side. You gotta make sure you have oil in here so that it'll not get air in the underside of this piston. Fill her up with nitrogen. Then bada boom, you got 2 done. And 30-ish minutes maybe? I don't know how long this video's been. Then I take them outside and go dip them back in the parts washer to get some of the excess oil off of them. So let's go over there. We're here. I just dump them in here a couple times. Try to get as much excess oil off as I can. And then I just leave them on my trailer for a minute. Let them drip off, and then we'll take them inside and wipe them down real good. Okay. So the rest of this video is just going to be a time lapse of me doing the rear 2. If you wanted to see them, they're the same as the front. There's really no different. Well, that kind of wraps up the video. If you guys like this kind of stuff, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just now getting into doing this. I'm going to try to post as much as I can whenever I have any shocks to rebuild or I have anything interesting to do. Thanks. Bye.